We start our journey in Christchurch, or Otautahi in Maori. The largest city on the South Island is well known for its English heritage. It is home to world-class universities and a thriving tech sector. The city centre is buzzing and people are out enjoying the end of a working week. The young guys are on the 2-hour pub crawl while working of the calories. Vintage trams offer the perfect opportunity to have a meal while sightseeing. Dedicated to those who died in World War I is the Bridge of Remembrance. A former post office, the attractive building on Cathedral Square now houses an upmarket eatery. The cone-shaped sculpture was erected to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the town. A major earthquake on the 22nd of February 2011 caused widespread destruction across Christchurch. 80% of the city was reduced to rubble, and 185 people lost their lives. The cathedral is now in the slow process of being rebuilt to its former glory. We are lucky that the gondola up Mount Cavendish is running. Quite often it is shut down due to the strong prevailing winds. Picturesque Littleton and the local cargo harbour are located behind the hills. The view over the city and the distant mountain ranges is quite stunning. New Brighton, the coastal suburb, is situated just a short distance from the CBD. Spanning 300 metres, the pier prides itself on being the longest such structure in the Southern Hemisphere. Great care has been taken to provide an inspiring and innovative playground for the kids. Due to its position in the so-called Roaring Forties, extremely strong winds are often experienced in New Zealand. It is springtime now and massive gusts are typical for this time of the year. Lush and rolling hillsides greet us as we are driving further south. New Zealand is well known for its large-scale commercial farming of deer. Lake Tekapo, Church of the Good Shepherd, built in 1935. The Church of the Good Shepherd commemorates early settlers in the Mackenzie region. Overlooking beautiful Lake Tekapo, the small structure was constructed entirely of locally found stone. We spent the night on the lake and even spotted a distant rainbow, and hoped that the rain would not reach us. Takaroa Rock Shelter is home to some ancient Maori rock drawings. Delicate shapes have been created using ochre, fat, and charcoal, dating back eons. The large collection of weathered boulders somehow resembles a herd of elephants, hence the name. The unusual sandstone formations can be found on a hillside in South Otago on private land. In Maori legend, the large Meraki boulders are baskets washed ashore from a shipwrecked canoe during the creation time. To scientists, the remarkable balls are concretions formed around 60 million years ago. Further along the foreshore, and by sheer coincidence, we discover miniature boulders down on the beach. We visit Shag Point and are lucky to spot some New Zealand fur seals, sunning themselves on the rocks. As the name implies, they are found mainly in this country, but quite often venture across the sea to Australia's southern shores. New Zealand may have a fairly large land area, but less than 5% is arable. Most of the countryside is only suitable for cattle or sheep farming. New Zealand is one of the world's largest exporters of dairy products and sheep meat. Wildlife is sparse, and we must content ourselves with a couple of hares. Like us, the black swans are visitors from Australia. We are leaving Highway Number 1 and drive along the coastal route through the Catlins, a lesser-known, but very scenic region south of Dunedin. As we drive along, we spot a sheep in distress. It is on its back and unable to get up. With a little bit of help, it soon is on its merry way again. A short walk through the native forest takes us to Paracornoy Falls, the most photographed of all waterfalls in New Zealand. The lush landscape gives testimony to the high rainfall around here. Between 640 mm and 1500 mm falls throughout the year. Native forests are unique and support a huge range of plants and animals, many of which are found only here. The beacon of Waipapa Lighthouse is remotely operated from Wellington. It is one of only 2 remaining such structures built out of timber. Visitors to this exposed setting experience the full force of nature. We stopped for the lunch break on the foreshore. Plenty of driftwood can be found on the beach, some with unusual shapes. We wonder whether the 2 people are fishing for whitebait, a local delicacy. Invercargill is located close to the most southerly point of New Zealand. The city celebrates its Scottish and local heritage with an impressive concrete sculpture, decorated with intricate Celtic and Maori symbols. In some of the side streets, more art in the form of murals can be discovered. New Zealand's forestry is based around sustainable managed plantation forest. It is the country's 3rd largest export commodity behind dairy and meat. On the hillside, already felled trees await collection. Clifton Suspension Bridge crosses the Waiau River and has a span of 111 meters. Being constructed entirely of timber, it stands out with a high level of design integrity. We have been lucky to find a lovely spot to camp in Redcliffe Forest amongst some pines with unusual cones. We have arrived on the shores of Lake Wakatipu and can already spot Queenstown in the distance. Queenstown has a lot to offer and attracts visitors all year round. Surrounded by impressive mountain ranges, the resort town forms the ideal base for exploring the region. Greenstone is sourced from riverbeds and boulders on the South Island. It is typically carved into a large variety of traditional Maori symbols. Tourists and locals alike enjoy some leisure time on the lake and a lovely view of the distant mountains. Jet boats take groups of thrill seekers on an exhilarating ride on the Shotover River. Not for the faint-hearted is bungee jumping from the bridge over Kawasau Gorge. Like the cyclists, we soon leave the action-packed area behind and press on. It looks like the young couple just tied the knot in this magnificent setting. The Bra Fence in Cardrona is a controversial tourist attraction. People coming here are encouraged to donate to breast cancer research. We have visitors in our next night camp, just outside Wanaka. The ducks obviously enjoy an unexpected feed. and we enjoy the lovely setting. Driving along Lake Wanaka, we cannot but marvel at the breathtaking scenery. A helicopter takes people into Mount Aspiring National Park for hiking. It is a UNESCO World Heritage listed area and makes for an incredible experience. The first few blooming lupins make an early appearance along the roadside. We also tackle the backcountry, but in a much more leisurely fashion. From Maharora, we are flying over the snow-covered ranges up to Mount Aspiring. After a very satisfying day, we have picked a campsite overlooking Makarora River. While visiting Fantail Falls, we noticed the numerous cairns. They are a form of worship and supposedly balance the energy of a place. With a drop of an impressive 96 meters, Thunder Creek Falls are fed by melting glacier waters. Our next stop is for a walk to another waterfall, which is aptly named Roaring Billy. The woods here feel like a magical place and might as well house hobbits and fairies.
Anybody home?
We have now reached the wild, 600 kilometers long west coast, pounded by the Tasman Sea. Like us, fishermen and other locals enjoy the sunshine. After a night lulled to sleep by the waves, we wake up to the typical inclement west coast weather. At the Fox Glacier view site, clouds are hanging low. That's what the vista could be. And this is what the view is. The canoe forms part of Maori mythology and the creation of the South Island and its mountains. It looks like a local farmer is fed up with trespassers. Good for the farmers, but not so good for us is the wet and dismal weather. A short walk takes us to where Franz Josef Glacier used to be 100 years ago. Several more hours of hiking up the valley would be required to reach the base of the glacier. However, today the access has been closed because of the unsuitable conditions.
Rigid.
Back in the village, we discover that there are no glacier flights either. The old building definitely oozes character, but needs perhaps a little tender loving care. As we drive into Ross, we are greeted by an alley of flowering cherry trees. The small historical gold town was established in the late 19th century. It used to be the centre of New Zealand's richest alluvial goldfields. The biggest nugget found here weighed 3.09 kilograms. Besides a cold beer, the local watering hole also offers comfortable accommodation for the weary traveller. A statue of a miner in the main street of Hokitika is a reminder of the days of the local gold rush. The town used to be the most important port in the region. It is unusual to see jumpers made from possum wool. Brushtail possums have been introduced from Australia and have now become a pest. In 1860, the place had a population of 50,000 people. Anyone keen enough can still find gold in the local river. The waka is often mistaken for the much rarer kiwi. Also called the Maori hen, the inquisitive bird is flightless and is endemic to New Zealand. They have a feisty personality and are known to steal crops, food, and even small objects. White-fronted terns or tara are busy nesting on the so-called pancake rocks at Punaikiki on the west coast. The unusual limestone formations are fragments of dead marine creatures deposited on the seafloor about 30 million years ago. It was later pushed to the surface by massive earthquakes. Arthur Pass is one of the main thoroughfares to cross over from the west coast to the east. The road climbs up to 900 meters, and it is the most spectacular pass in the Southern Alps. Another scattering of spectacular rocks can be admired at Castle Hill. Here some of the battle scenes for Story of Narnia have been filmed. We would have loved wandering through the magical landscape, but again the weather is not enticing. Just before arriving in Handler Springs, we stopped once more to admire the spectacular landscape. The small resort town was named after an early settler, Thomas Handler. To stay in the Grand Hotel is certainly a treat, but there is something available for every budget. The artesian waters in the thermal pools are a draw card for any visitor. With temperatures ranging from 28 to 42 degrees, there are 22 different pools to choose from. In the olden days, bathing in the nude was the common thing to do. A pair of trousers or a skirt on a stick indicated the gender presently in the water. We needed a bit of warming up in the springs, seeing the freshly fallen snow on the peaks of the surrounding mountains. Our holidays draw to a close and we tackle the last 70 kilometers back to Christchurch. With a last glimpse of the Southern Alps, we say goodbye to New Zealand and its awe-inspiring scenery, knowing that we will be back someday.